human beings and non-human intelligent alike. Welcome to another episode of Hey. Dude, what are you doing?
Sorry, I didn't do a proper vocal warm-up, but I thought maybe I could join you maybe this time. This would be like one of the ones I could...
This is kind of like my thing. The intro is kind of like my thing.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe we have like an outro or something.
Were you on American Idol?
I mean, I wasn't, but I knew a guy who was on American Idol once.
Yeah, that was me. So why don't we just keep the intro, all right, to me?
Okay,
Thank you.
Go ahead and get it. Second time's the charm. That's what they always say.
Oh, my whole vibes, I'm just not feeling it now. Anyway, welcome everyone to another edition of Oklahoma History and Film. Yes. I am your host, Christopher Gazaway, and here with me, as always,
your co-host's favorite co-host, Christopher Coldthorne. I'm here.
Present.
I'm present. I'm available.
Accounted for.
Accounted for, sir. Ready for duty.
And we have our work cut out for us today because we have a very controversial movie we are covering.
Why was it?
I always say we have our work cut out for us, but
I always imagine cake when you say that because the cut out for us. I'm just kind of picturing cake.
And that arm from Tara.
Yeah, a cake arm.
We are covering the 2014 movie Rudderless, starring Billy Crudup, who we all know as Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen.
Yep. As
well as the late, great Anton Yelchin, who we knew from Star Trek,
yes.
All the new Star Treks with J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, he did 3 of them. He was great in those. I thought his accent, when I first saw him in this, that was my first thought was, why is Chekhov doing American face? I don't get that. But I guess he's an actor. An actor like they pretend to be other things.
Yeah, this isn't a documentary.
But rest in peace. He was great. He really was.
He really was, and he was also in Alpha Dog, who I was telling you about.
Oh yeah, before we started. I'm gonna have to get that and watch it.
Yeah, his performance in Alpha Dog, it'll really tug at your heart. The movie also stars Laurence Fishburne, who we know from basically everything from Boys in the Hood to The Matrix.
And Predators. Can't forget Predators. His great performance in that. He was stuck on the planet, and his whole thing.
Felicity Huffman from, I guess, Desperate Housewives. I had to look that up because
I've only seen, I think, maybe the pilot episodes. I'm not really familiar with that. I'll have to watch it.
And pop sensation Selena Gomez.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's in the that show. I think it's Hulu. It's Only Murders in the Building, where she has a podcast with 2 older guys, and they catch a murder. Good stuff.
I'll have to check that out. And it is the directorial debut of William H. Macy, an actor that I've been a fan of for a long time.
Yeah. If you guys ever someone out there listening will had to have seen him in Shameless, and I swear to God, he is such a good actor. That character is so gross.
I don't know why I always forget about Shameless, but yeah.
He's like a different person.
You see him in a totally different light. Yeah. And yeah, it's almost hard to forget.
Yeah. Oh, and real quick, Jurassic Park 3, William H. Macy was in, and I believe, and that has an Oklahoma connection because if you remember, to get his kid off the dinosaur island, they lied and said they had a bunch of money, but in reality, they were actually from like Guthrie, Oklahoma.
Wow.
Which I think maybe this movie was partially filmed in.
Does that mean we can cover Jurassic Park 3 down the line now?
God, I hope so.
Is that part of the rules?
That's the dream. From now on, we're expanding it to anything that mentions Oklahoma in any way, shape, or form.
Except Keys of Tulsa. I'm not doing that.
I don't know this one.
Don't look it up. Anyway, Rudderless, the film opens, and it's on the UCO campus. I kind of recognize that. And we see this kid, he's like a singer-songwriter type, and he's recording this song about kind of how, like, he's an asshole. It had a nice vibe to it. I didn't hate it.
Somebody interrupts him, and it's just like...
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't it just make you so angry when somebody interrupts you trying to vibe,
when somebody's just trying to, like, really do what they always do, and then somebody just comes in and, kind of trying to step all over your harmonies and stuff.
Yeah, I tell you, it justifies a lot, let me tell you. A lot of anger, God. I mean.
And then, Anyway, the kid, he gets interrupted by some, guy looking for another guy. They're on a college campus. Things are crazy. Then we see Billy Crudup's character, whose name is Sam in this. You could tell he's at a business meeting. You could tell he's this kind of like big business type. I don't know, like successful businessman that wears a
Nice
suit.
tie, corner office, office that corners, all that stuff. And he's having a good win today. It's like a great day for him.
Yeah, he strikes me as the type if like if it takes all night, if we got to be here all night, then we're gonna do it. Like that kind of vibe.
Yeah,
But he calls his son, and he says he wants him to meet up with him because what he like I don't know, he like
closed
got
a
the
deal,
closed the
or
big deal or something.
he made some other capitalists a bunch more of a percentage than normal. So, but you know what? Hey, wins are wins. We got to celebrate our wins. So he calls the one person he loves, probably more than anyone. He calls his kid Josh, I believe.
Yeah, and Josh, he's kind of like reluctant. He doesn't. He like reluctantly agrees to meet up with his dad, but you get the kind of vibe that he's really not feeling it.
Yeah. Well, we saw. I mean, he was writing. He's got been interrupted, so he's busy. Trying to do music.
And after the call, after he hangs up, like he's outside, he's walking, outside somewhere on campus. And then once he hangs up the phone with his dad, he gets this like really weird look on his face. And then we see him turn around and head back towards the school. And then it cuts back to Sam, who had been apparently waiting at that bar for Josh for a while. And then he sees that bulletin on the news and on one of the TVs. And apparently there had been a shooting at the
Yeah.
school that his son went to. And it fades to black from there.
Yeah, and just the kind of panic you would probably have in that situation. Yeah, it
Unimaginable.
would be like, your loved one is on a flight and you hear there's been a crash and you're like, oh, well, I hope it's not, number 913 because that was the one my people were on.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that one, you hope.
I mean, I I have I have a son, and he's at the age where he goes to school now, and that's something that we shouldn't have to worry about. And not to get into that. That's not the kind of podcast we are,
No,
but
but I would say that like bulletproof backpacks are kind of not like it's a good idea, but it's also
that's
we're
not
at that
my
point.
that's not my idea of a future
Right. That's
utopia.
not a solution. That's like a band-aid maybe. But anyway, yeah, neither here nor there. But yeah, it's a tragedy that Americans in particular have to see all the time. So it really kind of hits home.
And I really, to William H. Macy's credit, I give him, all the respect in the world for tackling something like this.
Yeah. No, yeah, for real. Like hats off for him just diving in like that and just I I think it's cool. I think the whole movie and the whole subject matter I think an original swing and I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
We come back and we see a phone ringing, but Sam, he's wearing a black suit. He ignores it and he continues tying his shoe. And one of the laces break, which,
It was a nice touch, I thought.
I know, the worst thing imaginable has happened, and let's just kick a man when he's down. Let's have his shoe tie or his lace break, and the guy can't catch a break.
See, for me, when I watched that, I thought that would be my like flip out, Hulk out moment.
Yeah, the shoe is going through the window at
Yeah,
that
I would just
point.
be like, first off, I wouldn't wear those uncomfortable shoes like that. You wear shoes with the Velcro or something, that you can slip into instead of like tying shoes. But I know that feeling when you break a shoelace. It is like a little thing can make you madder than any big thing. So yeah, that would have been my Hulk out moment.
And it turns out the person that was calling that he ignored was his ex-wife, or his now ex-wife, because it's implied they separated.
Yeah, well, statistically, as you may know, couples just don't really stay together when there's a child that passes. Usually not.
Oh wow, yeah, and that's great for I'm sure William H Macy knew that and threw that in
Yeah, he
there.
probably did the research and stuff.
And so whenever we find out from Emily and her new husband there that they just seem like he's ignoring us, and it seems like he does this a lot, like he's in hiding basically. And then Sam drives to where his son's wake is, and it's implied that Josh was one of the victims of this horrific school shooting,
Yeah.
as we know. Sam enters Josh's old bedroom, and he like starts staring at some of the pictures of him and Josh. when they were playing guitar together, and he opens that closet and he sees some unopened gifts because it was apparently, whenever this happened, it was right around the time of Josh's birthday,
Ugh,
just to add more, salt in the wound.
yeah.
And that hit me because it's like those gifts that were wrapped that you never got to give your son. Oh, terrible. And we're
Yeah.
just off to this is how the movie, like, it tugs at your
It's a
heartstrings.
sad movie. It's a Yeah, and then Selena Gomez comes in and she's his ex, and that was a hard scene because she's like awkward about it. She doesn't know, and she actually says like, "I don't know what I'm supposed to say."
Yeah, her name is Kate, and yeah, she introduces herself to Sam and says she's a former girlfriend of Josh, and they dated for like a year. She tells Sam that Josh always spoke very highly of him, and then she just like breaks down crying. I
Yeah,
was like, oh man, this is
yeah,
gonna be a really hard movie to watch.
yeah. Because like the opening, the beginning of the movie, I didn't know what kind of movie. That's why I'm glad I do this podcast. I can watch these movies and jump into them blind. But I had no idea what this movie was going to be about. And it's like, oh, school shooting. Okay, this is gonna be a hard watch. This is like a serious movie. Oh,
And then the next scene, it's Sam, I believe, coming home, and we see these news trucks or news vans parked on both sides of the street, like
yeah.
bloodthirsty vultures waiting for him, to pull up to his house and get out of his
He's
car.
got a really cool house, by the way. I noted that down. It's really kind of like, I don't know, futuristic and square looking and really cool.
And then, so the bloodthirsty vultures in the media like swarm him, and they start. I think I picked up on a few things. They were like asking if he had spoke to any of the other parents, and
Yeah.
Sam just goes in the house and proceeds to, make himself a drink and microwave a pizza, which frozen pizza, which I picked up on. I thought it was kind of gross.
Yeah, because you need to just wait the extra time and put it in the oven so it'll be
Yeah,
crispy and not soggy. We've all done that game. You think you can save a few minutes?
yeah,
It's not going to work out. They're not. They're made for the oven.
it's never worth it.
Yeah,
Don't
but
cut
I'm
corners.
I'm with him though, because what are you going to say? Like what can you possibly say? Like
Yeah.
imagine, what are you going to say to the news media? Like,
And what are you going to say to the other, and to the other parents? Like, yeah, and we're not going to give any spoilers away just yet, but like,
yeah, are we in
in
a
his,
club now?
in
Like, how are
his,
we?
in his situation, in that moment, like, yeah, I mean, it's just tacky tactics from the media.
Yeah,
Uh, I did clock that Sam burns his fingers when he goes to get the pizza out of the microwave, which throws him into like an absolute rage, like we were talking about earlier.
yeah,
Some of the smaller things can just make you snap,
yeah. Because
and
you've
he
been,
slapped the shit out of the microwave, and it made me laugh because I'm like, that's me every
yeah.
day.
Well, you got to let it know. You know what the deal is. Like, don't burn my food, okay? I will unplug you, and that's it.
And then next we see him at the liquor store, which you were talking about like about we were talking off air, I believe, and whenever he pulls up to that liquor store, he's buying these like huge bottles of liquor,
Well,
and
first he had a cart full of stuff, and then he puts that down, I believe, and he eyes two huge jugs of I don't know what, something brown,
yeah,
something really strong.
something that's gonna get you nice and tight.
Yeah, because I think it was kind of like showing his despair because I'm pretty sure if we looked at the his selection that he had in the cart, it was probably more wines or something, and then he just goes, "F it, I'm gonna get these two jugs and just get blasted."
Yeah.
And he asked the guy if he has a way out the back because he sees the paparazzi coming up.
Yep, and they do get him. Like I don't think there was. I don't think the clerk understood what he was
Yeah,
saying, and then he just ended up having to go out the front. And you hear these reporters. They're like, "Do you feel the school bears any responsibility for?" And then he cuts her off, and he's like, "You're a heartless, bottom feeding motherfucker,"
yeah,
and drives off.
gives him the finger too.
And you know, I sympathize with the guy.
Yeah,
In the next scene, he's driving during the daytime and completely obliterates the curb as he's pulling up to his job.
Well,
And
but you got to go to work sometimes. You can't call in every day. You got to get back up on the horse, and that's what he was doing.
he wasn't gonna let himself. He wasn't gonna let being shit faced keep him from going to work that day.
He's got to make some deals.
And you know when he hit that curb, it reminded me of Tiffany Bird Johnson, our old friend Tiffany, and the way she would just clip a curb and pretend it was no big deal.
Not a big deal. Just feeling it like a cat's whiskers.
And then Sam, he goes inside and he's very visibly drunk and he starts approaching the receptionist and getting way handsy with her. And
Yeah. I
like,
also wondered, did they have some history or something? Because she was pushing him off because he's drunk, but not 100%. It was
yeah,
kind of like, well,
no.
they were a little familiar.
Yeah, I felt like there was some familiarity between those two. It definitely, she didn't seem in danger, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
she was gonna let a lot of that slide because his tragedy and that he was blasted, but they like fell. He drug her down. He tries to
Yeah,
hug her and like knock
I
some
was
stuff
gonna
over.
say it was a very like accurate depiction of a drunk person and like how they try to keep their wits. And unfortunately speak from experience.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, I was thinking it. Yeah, for sure.
He like once he gets back to his feet, he's approached by another dude that works there, probably one of the other bosses, and he says she can't keep her hands off of me with this like big shit-eating grin on his face. He's absolutely unhinged.
Yeah, he does not. He's so blasted that he thinks he's nailing it.
Yeah. And then it cuts him talking to this colleague, and Sam's trying to convince him he's perfectly okay and he just needs to focus on work.
That's what I need. He says,
Yeah.
I need to be here at work, and I'm fine.
Yeah, nothing happened to my son. Ugh. And then, it cuts to black and we see 2 years later pop up.
Yeah, and now he's got a houseboat, or just a boat he lives in, I guess. I don't know if it's a houseboat.
Yeah.
Because he showers somewhere else, right?
Yeah, that's what I clocked that too, yeah.
Yeah, is it because he doesn't have it? He doesn't have a shower.
I
Guess,
don't I
in the
don't
boat.
think. I don't think.
I mean, there's
No.
an ocean right
Well, I
there.
mean, he pisses off the side of it. We see that.
Oh yeah, he must not have. Do they not have a bathroom in a boat? I'm not on boats very often, so I
I
don't know.
think. Well, no, I know some do. For the old the drop in the deuce, but maybe he just wanted to pee off the side of the boat. Maybe it's just more freeing that way.
Yeah, I mean it is. We've all gone outside as men, and it's nice.
It is very freeing, ladies. But he also did this in kind of the clear view of an old lady that was like watching from
And a
nearby,
kid.
and a kid. Oh my god, I forgot.
Yeah, there's a kid there. She's laughing. He's like, whatever. He's so blasted, he doesn't care. And I think he's a painter, maybe now.
Yeah, but then before that, that dude, that little like Allard Dick, or the guy that's always bugging him that pulls up on that boat and he starts warning him
Oh,
about
right, yeah, the little
how,
square guy, yeah.
yeah, the little
He's like,
square.
we're having a parade and water parade or whatever, and you need to chill out.
He's like the lakeside version of like HOA or something.
Yeah.
Just very annoying and telling him he's not supposed to be peeing off the side and.
Squares and their rules.
And so Sam, he rides off on his bicycle because he rides a bicycle now, and
Well, he drinks so much. He's drinking a lot. It's
he's
hard
being
to,
responsible.
Yeah, that's cool. What are you going to crash into in a bike?
He shows up to his job, and his boss is like warns him immediately not to show up late again. And the way he said it, I knew he wasn't messing around.
It's happened before.
He meant you're not gonna have a job.
Yeah.
Because Sam paints houses now, like you were saying.
Yeah, and this is not the first time this has happened at all.
No.
That's kind of what we get from it. And he has a uncanny resemblance to CM Punk now.
Oh, dude. And I was like, his beard was like making me feel like I have a good beard.
I thought he looked really cool. He seemed like a lot. I know he's went through this horrible tragedy, and he's a drunk now. But hey, a lot cooler of a guy probably now. A lot less, a lot more laid back.
They show him next, like he's showering in that community shower, like you were saying, and I'm guessing somewhere near that lake, there's that building is there, but there's zero privacy. Like there's kids running around in there, and just less than ideal. And then we see him, he's meeting up with the coworkers at that little dive bar, which has the live music, which we will come to know as the Trill.
Yeah, and this man, I wrote down in my notes about how like this reminded me of you and Tucker and a bunch of different guys that we know
Yeah,
from like this is so like the small like setting up and the small like
it
it
was
just it was great.
it was an open mic at a dive bar. So if
Yeah.
you've ever been to one of those, they nailed the vibe. I do say I have one critique, and it was kind of like and it's only in the scenes in the bar, and it's something about, it's a technical thing about the way they film it. It looks kind of like one of those like Hallmark movies, or
Okay.
Lifetime movies. It has that like, I don't know the proper term for it, but just the lighting and the way it looks, it reminds me of that.
Yeah.
And not the rest of the movie isn't like that. It's just for some reason in the bar scenes in particular. But that's like my only technical critique I have of this.
Yeah, but yeah, the vibe of a small bar. Like I've never been a musician, but you have been.
And you've been to enough shows with this, so
Yeah,
like,
and I've been on a bunch of them, and it's like seeing them carrying the amps and setup and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I feel like I've been there. So yeah, they nailed that vibe in my opinion. I thought.
and then we see that girl on stage singing and playing the electric ukulele.
Yeah, I wrote down here. Let me see. It says, "You're the whore." That's what I wrote down. Exclamation points.
She was great, by the way.
I hope her song is on the soundtrack. I really do.
Whoever that actress was, she nailed it. She did a great job.
Yeah.
Sam orders a Mustang Wheat, which is a local beer brewery famous for making hops, by the Hanson beer.
Oh, that sounds like that Hanson song.
Yeah, that's the people, they made the Hanson
Oh,
beer.
what do you what a coincidence? What do you think the chances are?
I am telling you that Hanson, Taylor, Zach, and the Isaac got together with Mustang Brewing Company and made the beer hops.
I think
What are
that's
you not getting about this?
I think that song was Jeremy Buck's entrance music.
Damn it, we're all over the. Are, are we done?
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't do the whole song like I'm sure the listeners want, but yeah. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool, actually.
Anyway, and then his coworkers ask what he's really doing painting houses, because I guess they could tell he's lying, and like or no, they can tell that he's not, he doesn't belong there,
Yeah,
like.
he's kind of slumming it.
And he lies and says he's in witness protection, just tongue in cheek kind of. He wasn't really trying to get them to believe that. And oh yeah, the girl on stage, her name was Peaches. That's what it
Shout
was.
out to Peaches. Peaches, if you're listening, please message us and let us know there's a full version of your song, You're the Whore.
And we will play that on every episode.
I thought it was it was really fun. It really stuck out in this movie. I thought it was quirky and fun.
And then next up on stage was Nick Harvard. He played the banjo and he sings and has that harmonica gimmick around his neck.
Yeah,
I dug his music a little. It was nice.
yeah, he was cool.
And then, Sam returns back to his boathouse and he runs into Emily, whom has apparently been trying to track him down because she wants to put the house on the market and needs his signature.
Because they're moving to Tulsa, her and her new husband.
That's right. We get a Tulsa shout out.
Yeah.
And then Sam notices in the back seat of Emily's car, she has a car seat. And, he kind of has that awkward, like, look on his face. And Emily says his name is Philip, $200,000 miracle. So, he like kind of feigns support, but, you can kind of tell it probably stung a little.
Oh, yeah, probably way more than a
Yeah.
little. It's like, oh, wow, how dare you? I mean, even though that's completely stupid and irrational, I can imagine
Yeah.
the character thinking that, like,
Yeah, and she also has a lot of things of Josh that she brought, and she wanted to give to Sam, and a lot of it's music related, because she was like, music was always you and Josh's thing. So he claims he can't keep it because his boat's too small, which really pisses off Emily.
yeah.
She accuses him of like trying to hide and pretend Josh never existed, and
Yeah, and then he's like, it's like, oh, he's had a change of heart. I guess he's going to take the stuff.
Yeah, and then the next thing we see him, like, he's throwing his son's in the dumpster
Yeah,
until he
that
comes. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, that was like kind of shocking, honestly, because I did think, jokes aside, I did think he was taking this stuff. I thought, well, okay, well, he's gonna, no, he dunks it in the trash.
Yeah,
Oh my God, it's like this is your kid's stuff, but you know, he doesn't dunk at all.
I really can't. Yeah, and trying to not, and you don't, as a parent, I don't want to put, I don't even want to put myself in his position or like mentally, to try to see where he's coming from because I don't even want to think about something like
Yeah,
that. It's horrible. But, I can't speak to what kind of trauma that man is going through.
yeah,
And, so throwing your kid's stuff out just may have been a way for him to process his emotions. But we see him, he does come across Josh's old songbooks and he starts reading the lyrics and he listens to some of the recordings of it. And man, that moment really hit me hard.
yeah. And then he's like listening to stuff on a CD player, like up on the deck, playing it real
Yeah.
loud, and just that whole thing was really. It was just kind of like a weird, bittersweet kind of vibe because it's like, oh, it's good stuff, but you know, sad.
Yeah, because he's like, you, him being that busy businessman type, he may have not had a lot of time to really get to know his son on a deep level like this. And then now he's reading the like most deep and inner thoughts of his son that his son put to paper and made songs of. And, just as a father, I can't imagine what that would feel like. And man, it would just be so tough.
Yeah, and I think there were some lyric books, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he was actually listening and writing down some of the
Yeah,
lyrics that he didn't have, which is like that's really sweet.
and tough.
Yeah, that's a hard scene.
Then we see him, he's still listening to the songs of Josh's on his headphones, and that's when he gets like interrupted. I believe by that Allard guy or whatever. Well, whenever we see that Allard guy, he comes up and starts reprimanding him about how he was peeing off the boat earlier.
Yeah,
Which I thought this was America, but whatever.
yeah, and he's got a little bow tie. Of course he
Of
does.
course he does. And then next we see Sam. He's going to that. He's going back to that bar, and the open mic is going. And he walks in. He's greeted by William H Macy's like character,
He's
who's
like the
the
bartender or
and
owner, I think.
tavern owner, yeah, I believe. And he asks if he plays, and shows him where to sign up. And then Sam just starts pounding drinks. I don't know if you clocked that, but like you could tell he was probably just nervous and
Yeah, you know, you got to get a few down so you can get rid of that stage fright. I
And,
know, I
and as you
understand.
were saying, you've been at plenty of shows of ours before. You saw how
I
we
mean, that's what you
prepared.
did. I mean, I didn't really see a ton of other artists doing the exact same thing. I mean, they drink a little, but you know,
Well, I was a unique
you
artist.
were a better artist than them, so you had to drink more because you're more nervous because the talent, it's a
Yeah.
talent ratio.
God, I love you. We hear the tavern owner, Macy's character, he announces Allard Dick to the stage, which is funny because it's the first name of that guy, and I guess he just attaches Dick to it because
Yeah,
that's what he thinks of him. And it's Sam. He goes to the stage. And it's just such a perfect like depiction of an open mic. I think we've harped on that enough.
yeah. But yeah, he
And
does real good though.
well, and I put it down. It was such a good depiction because in the way that like people were seemingly not even paying attention to him, like
Yeah.
they're talking at their tables, and I've been the one on stage playing when that happens, and it's not a great feeling.
Yeah, I've been there because I've had to throw bottles at him and threaten him to watch you. You know.
Then we see this uninterested dude get up and go to the bar, which kind of reveals Anton Yelkin's character,
Yeah.
which is Quentin, and he was sitting behind that guy. And a few of the artists around the room start taking notice of Sam like singing, and the lyrics were something like talking about wanting to go home or something. And as Sam's leaving the bar, Quentin goes up and introduces himself and tells him how moved he was by the
Yeah.
songs.
He's
And he kept like being like, "Mr. Dick, would you like a ride home?"
yeah.
And he was like, "I think you're too drunk to be on on that bicycle or whatever." And
Yeah.
Sam's like, "Oh, bullshit."
And
And then
then
he rides
smash.
off. Yeah. Not only does he hit a vehicle, he hits a parked vehicle. So
Well, you know, kind of jumped out of nowhere. You know.
maybe Quentin was onto something. Who knows?
Yeah, he's like enthralled by this
Oh,
this
I
song.
loved it. I loved it. Yeah, his energy that he brought.
Yeah, he was like, "Listen, man, I've never heard this before. You gotta like, what are you doing? Who are you? What is this? You know?" And follows him to the boat, which was cool.
Yeah, he like
Or
helps him after he crashes, and
drops him
then
off there.
he yeah after Sam crashes into the parked vehicle, Quentin goes over and helps him up, and then gives him a ride home, and asks if he'll be back to play, at that club next week, and he just gets ignored.
Yeah.
And then the next day, we see Quentin shows up to Sam's boat, and he's got donuts and coffee in hand, and he's like, "Hey, donuts are better than sex."
He's
Or
like,
something
"You're not
like
doing it right, though."
that. Yeah, which I thought was funny. And I believe even Sam had a line where you're not supposed to go on a boat unless you're invited. That might be like a nautical thing I wasn't
Yeah,
familiar with.
yeah, because he says that throughout. He's like, "Permission to come aboard."
Yeah. And then Quentin, he's telling Sam how he can't stop thinking about that song and how he feels like it needs a simple harmony. And basically, he's saying, like, to essentially start playing music with Sam, or like
Yeah,
he essentially just wants to start playing music with Sam.
he's like, "Yeah, you're too good, basically, to be on your own. We need to play together. We need to make this into something because this is too good to just be unheard." So
Yeah. And Sam, like, immediately cuts him off, says he's not interested. Quentin asks if he has any new songs and wants to clarify if Sam means, hey, you don't want to play the venue again, or you just don't want to play with me. And then we see Sam, he's back at work, he's listening to Josh's songs. You can see him as he's listening, he's wording the lyrics as the song's playing.
yeah,
And then you could see him back in that community bathroom, and the janitor's like, "Hey, did your wife kick you out?" And he's like, "No, no wife, no kids. I live on a boat. It's sexy for everything except taking a shower."
yeah,
The next thing we see is Sam fishing, and Quentin sneaks up on him. He starts talking to him, says he missed him the other night at the club, or the whatever. He missed him the other night at the little like dive bar.
yeah. He's really interested in him playing again. He really is into this music.
And like he's like, "I never got fishing, which I never did either. I thought it's the most boring thing ever."
It is. You're right. You're right.
And but Sam did. To be fair, he had the best like comeback to that. He was like, "Yeah, there's probably a lot of things that you don't get that requires silence."
Yeah.
It was like, "Oh, fair." And then Q, he asked permission to come on the boat. Like this time. And Sam's like, "Only if you agree to help with dinner." And then he hands him like that whole line of fish. He's like, "Here, clean these up."
Yeah.
And
I
then
thought he was gonna scrub them maybe with soap and a sponge or
I
something.
love that Quentin kept calling him Mr. Dick too, until he like finally smartens him up and tells him, "All right, stop calling me that. My name is Sam."
Dick was right though. He is an unpleasant person to be around. He seems cool though.
Yeah, he does have he has dickish qualities. Then Quentin picks up one of Sam's guitars and he starts strumming and starts harping on Sam about, "Hey, do you have more songs?" Blah blah blah. Sam's annoyed, and Quentin says something that struck a chord with me. He's like, "You don't write stuff like this if you don't want people to hear it,"
Yeah.
and like that. That probably hit home with Sam too because he knows whose words these are. They're not his; it's his son, and that probably struck a chord with him. Then Quentin sings some of Josh's songs, or some of Josh's song, and Sam corrects him on the lyric, and they start harmonizing together. And then next thing you know, we see them both jamming, and they're like, it seems like they have something going.
Yeah, it's like a cool jam sesh. They're having a lot of fun and they're like working out the song and it's really a cool
I
moment.
thought it was adorable because it's like, uh, for Sam, maybe he sees a little of his son, and
Yeah.
it's it's kind of implied. I think that's the undertone there. Sam shows up to the trill. He meets those friends, Aiken and Tolly. They were friends of Quentin, and he's like, Quentin's in the bathroom, a nervous wreck, puking, and then like Sam goes in. He's like, "In case you forgot, this was your idea."
Yeah, and I love how he tells him he's like, there's like 10 people here, or
Yeah,
there's
so he's
14 people, and 10 of them are
the
performers.
performers, yes, because that is another like dead on thing about open mics and stuff. So
Yeah, it's the same for indie wrestling. It's like most of the people in the crowd are like brought here by the wrestlers, probably give them a ride.
Yeah,
Same for music.
or their family or something. They have this moment on stage when they're playing the song together where they harmonize, and like Sam looks over at Quentin, and you could tell they're having this moment.
Yeah.
And then we have this like mini montage. It shows them playing all these open mics, and it shows that Sam's kind of got to know William H. Macy, the tavern owner. They look friendly now. And then it shows Quentin taking Sam to that music store where we get to see Laurence Fishburne, who
Yeah.
plays Dell. And Quentin showing off Sam that 78 Gibson Les Paul with the rosewood body and all the trimmings. And
Yeah, it's like lime green or something.
yeah, and
It's really
he's
cool
like
looking.
had his eye on it for a long time, and you can tell. After we meet Dell, they have that little moment with the RV magazine, and he's like, "Oh, you thinking of buying an RV?" Sam is asking Dell that, and he's like, "Oh, that's my wife's dream," and blah blah blah. It was just kind of a little nugget there that you have to remember for later.
Do you think he was? I assume he was an ex-musician. Otherwise, because
Oh,
he
Dell,
seemed like,
Dell, yeah, for sure. I got that vibe from him.
because we didn't see him play anything, but I mean, he owns a music store.
Yeah, and he made a couple references about like music taste and like an instrument isn't an instrument if you can't play it without a battery or something like that.
Oh right, yeah. So I got the definite vibe. He must be a good musician, a real musician, quote unquote.
And then outside of the music store, Q just happens to run into an old bandmate named Willie. And Willie says, "Oh yeah, I haven't been playing in a while." And like Quentin's like, "Oh what? Man, you're gonna get snatched up quick. You're like a magician, man. You're like one of the best. Like any band would be like, fortunate to have you." And like, they kind of like stare at each other, and Willie's like, "Well, all right, I'll see you later," because it's like it's apparent that this was all just an elaborate setup, and
What? Just they just bumped into each other randomly.
and Sam was like, clearly, he was like, "Yeah, this you think." Or what did he say? He said something like, "You think that was really gonna work on me or something?"
Yeah, it was pretty clear they set it up because they're into him. They love his music, and they're like, we need a whole band around this dude.
Yeah, and Sam's like, "No, I'm too old to start a band," and Quentin's like, "No, it's not a band. I just think a bass would make us sound better," which is like really how a lot of bands start. I will give it that, especially for us older gentlemen. Back on the boat, we see Sam. He's unwrapped one of those gifts that we saw in the closet earlier, Josh's closet, and it turned out to be like a really nice Marshall guitar amp. And then we see Sammy meets up with the Willie and Quentin, and they're in a garage. And then that Aiken guy we met earlier
Yeah,
was like also there and playing drums, and they're basically just getting together to hammer home some songs. And I wrote down that I loved the dichotomy of the old guy playing with the young guys. We cut back to the band now, all playing together live at the Trill, and to a somewhat packed house. The tavern owner asks afterwards if they have enough songs to be the house band. And they all agree, despite Sam being like, "Whoa, whoa, I have a job, I can't do this." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, you really have a job," and blah, blah, blah. But
yeah.
they razz him, and but ultimately they're making it happen. Sam goes home. He sees a banner for a regatta at the lake, and Albert asks Sam if he can move his boat for the event.
Yeah, because that's like a boat parade or something, some
Yeah,
stuffy yacht club thing.
some bougie bullshit.
Ugh.
And Sam said, he would if, Dickhead would stop circulating a petition around the lake to get him kicked off.
Yeah, and he's like, I'll move it. And it's like, is he
Yeah.
gonna move it?
Oh, and yeah, and then as Sam walked away, Algard was like, well, I guess they'll move it. Like he really got him to do something.
Yeah, because there's two people standing across the street that were too scared to come over, so they sent the toughest guy, which is Mr. Bowtie. So
Yeah.
he's like, I did it, guys. I got him. I got him to move it. It's like, yeah, whatever.
We see Sam back on his boat. He's listening to more of Josh's music and coming through the lyrics. We hear the incident in the beginning of the movie of the guy interrupting Josh's recordings. Like he's listening to the recording of that incident
Yeah, I thought that
happening,
was really cool.
and the words of it like struck a chord with him. I don't know. It really just got Sam's attention. Something about that like really struck Sam.
Well, it just kind of ruined the vibe really because it's like, oh, all of a sudden he's not singing. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it
And you
was.
can
It's
hear the like frustration in his son's voice. Sam and Quentin are walking to the trail, and Sam notices the name on the sign, and it is Rudderless because of the boat. And Q tells the band that Sam hates the name. And then one of the guys is like, "Hey, don't blame me. I like the old man and the three." Rudderless plays. We get another like mini montage, and Quentin's starting to get attention from the girls now.
yep.
And Rudderless can now pack the house out at the Trill,
Yeah, and I
which
I really liked that scene too because seeing a packed house in a small venue, I've been with you many times where that's happened, and it's really a fun. Any of the listeners, if you've never been in a really small place with a ton of people, it's kind of interesting. It's really fun. It's like those however many people are packed in there like sardines. They can really you really feel a fun vibe.
I love it because it makes it. If you're in a building with the capacity of 20, you know what? That looks like it looks really good on camera.
Yeah, I mean, we want to be careful. We want to get into like a white snake type situation, but I mean, safety first. Have exits and everything, obviously. But it's a really fun vibe, and I really like the scene. I think they kind of nailed that
Yeah,
that
and
vibe.
I liked how it showed the bartenders like being busy for once,
Yeah,
and like the owner seemed happy about it. Everybody just seemed happy, and then we see Quentin sitting at a bar or sitting at the bar, and some girls are checking him out, and Sam tries to convince him to go talk to him, and he's like, "Oh no, Sam, you know what? You have awful advice because like everything you tell me is just like you say just like whatever it is you just say we'll just stop doing
yeah. If
that."
you're sick, just don't puke.
Yeah, stuff like that. So he did have a valid point. Sam's advice isn't really that good.
No.
He says but did Sam did have one good piece of advice because he told him go over there, don't go over there and hit on them, go over there and talk to them. That is solid advice.
Yeah, I wrote that down on my notes. I think for anybody who you're not landing with the other sex like you want or the same sex, whatever. Yeah, don't think of it as you're trying to get with them or go to sleep with them, whatever. You're just talking to them. Just that's all it is. That's where it has to start. And then if you
100%.
vibe from there, whatever. But
Agreed.
yeah, don't be weird. Just talk to them. Just get a shower, talk to them, have some fun stuff to talk about.
We see Sam's coworker says his sister's a fan of his band, which is nice. And then we see Sam back at the music store getting an effects pedal. And Dell tells Sam that he's a godsend for that boy, talking about Quentin.
Yeah, because he just like the scene we just mentioned with him, like telling him how to talk to girls. A lot of father vibes, and it's
Yeah.
it's not like weird or anything, but you start noticing like, oh, is he maybe substituting him for his son that's passed? Maybe a little bit of that.
Yeah, that's definitely I got that vibe. And but we never really we don't know much about Quentin or his backstory. So whenever Dell said that, it kind of like for me, I was like, oh, what does he mean by that?
Yeah, I did too. I was like,
And you could see even on Sam's face, he was like, hmm.
yeah, because then he made a point right after that to like go find out about him and go to his place.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he goes to Quentin's house and he like catches him playing the violin, which he didn't know he did that.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
And like Quentin, or yeah, he seems a little like just a little
Scary.
weirded out about Sam's presence at his home, I guess is what I'd say. And then we see this like very attractive woman named Joyce walk in. And then Sam's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like I didn't
Well, he
realize what
handed her
was going."
something. I thought that was
Yeah,
odd
no,
too.
he hands her money. Like
Yeah.
Quentin, he hugs her and then like hands her money on the way out the door, and so it's like it kind of looked like from Sam's point of view that Quentin was like paying a working woman.
Yeah, and of course, he just kind of mentioned it instead of saying like softly like who was that? That would be the best thing to say. He's
Yeah.
like, well, who's that? He just assumed it was a woman of the night.
Yeah.
He's like, that's my mom.
Yeah, they show him later. I think they were walking in a mall or something, and yeah, Sam was like, "Hey, I've been down that road before,"
Yeah,
and he's like, What are you talking about?" And he's like, you don't have to be embarrassed about getting a working woman or whatever." And he's like, "Dude, that was my mom," and like, Sam's humiliated. He tries to make it like better by saying she's attractive, which is probably not what he wants to
right.
hear.
That's of course that's what you want to hear. Yeah.
But it's kind of revealed that they've been through a lot and used to live in a car whenever he was in
Yeah.
high school.
The
So
way he said that, he was like,
oh,
"I'll
and the
never be that poor
oh
again."
yeah, I
It's like,
felt
oh,
that so
yeah,
deep in my heart. Oh,
me
I'm
too.
glad you clocked that too.
Yeah, so you kind of feel like, well, he's really focusing on his talent because he doesn't want to be poor. He's
Yeah.
doing like a Eminem and 8 Mile kind of thing. Like, I'm not gonna die here. I'm gonna make something.
And
So
then this next scene, like when they're at the mall, and like it has Sam like trying to like help Quentin with his style and everything, and I got even more father son
oh yeah,
vibes off of that. Like I mean, up to the point where he's holding the pants up to his waist like a dad would do, and
yeah.
it's I mean,
That was probably like a little too. You need to dial it back a little. Don't
yeah,
freak him out.
yeah.
Maybe holding him and my baby.
But I mean, bless the man's heart. He's been through a lot, But I mean, he's really trying to get through Quentin's head that style will breed confidence, and he's just very fatherly figure.
Yeah, and he's right because he ends up looking really cool. He ends up looking like a cool, skinny, underfed rock star.
And he like and then that scene where he makes them talk to those girls that are like turned out to be elementary school teachers,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, we gotta teach tomorrow. They can't stay and watch the band because they got to teach tomorrow." And Sam calls him out. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know school is taught on Sundays." And they're like, "All right, well, what does your band sound like?" And he basically lays this up for old Quentin,
Yeah.
and they're like, "All right, we'll stay if you play." One song that we want, and they request Paparazzi by Lady Gaga. And, obviously Sam doesn't know that. He's an older guy.
Yeah.
And so they give him another suggestion, but we don't find it out until the band starts playing.
I loved
I
this.
thought it was great. It ended up being The Wheels on the Bus.
Yeah, and they added some extra lyrics in there, and they got William H. Macy, the bartender, involved.
Yes, but I loved that scene because like everyone was having fun. The girls were way into it, you could tell, and like Sam really helped Quentin out on this one.
Yeah, and you just really get the sense of like, man, this what a win they've got. Nothing's gonna bring this night down.
Nope, they're on a high horse right now, and yeah, nothing could stop them.
I'm gonna live forever. It's just that kind of a vibe.
Absolutely. And then Sam goes outside on Lex's bike, and he sees a silhouette of a girl, and
And she keeps staring at him, and so I thought, well, it's probably
a
like maybe
fan.
she's into him. That's what
Yeah.
it is. But
But
it's not it.
no. It happens to be the girl Kate from earlier, who he met in his son's bedroom.
Who now goes by a different name.
She goes by Anne now, and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry," and she said, "Things are better now. Things have died down." She even gets out a little sometimes, like tonight, and she's like, "So you're a rock star now? Except you didn't write those songs, did you?" And then she really grills him, like, "How could you play these songs? Shame on you." And like, I mean, lets him have it, and Sam looks devastated.
Yeah, I wrote down here Selena Gomez is a real buzzkill. Just really brought the whole night down. Just
And she had no reason for
well, I
that.
mean, she may have had a small reason.
Okay. Man, yeah, it's hard to joke on this one. I'm
It
trying
is
to.
because it's because
I want to provide some humor, but man, it's hard.
listen, if any of the listeners, if you guys watch this movie, which I highly recommend, you might need to laugh a little bit or joke a little bit because it's not a funny movie. It is a very serious, well-made movie. We're trying to provide some gallows humor a little bit because
That's
it's
how I
really
deal with
serious.
it's a coping mechanism.
That's all you can do. Otherwise, you're just going to hear the Crying Man podcast,
Yeah, absolutely.
which I did. I'm not ashamed to admit when I cry. I did tear up while watching this a couple of times. It's
Oh,
heavy.
yeah, for sure.
Especially this part that you're mentioning with Selena Gomez out here. I thought maybe she was going to ask for a cigarette or something, but no.
Autograph, but damn, nah, she went the complete opposite direction. Then we see Sam. He's at like that after party, and he looks just like clearly out of place, and like his mind is elsewhere, and he leaves. And then he's at the cemetery next, and it's during the day. He's got a bag in his hand,
Yep.
and then we see the big reveal. The headstone's been vandalized with the words killer, murderer, evil, burn in hell, etc.
You killed my son. My son deserved better. Yeah. So the big reveal, hammer drop twist is his son was the shooter. His son was the killer.
Yeah. Josh was the gunman, and
I
then apparently died in the incident as well.
Right. Probably like a lot of them do. It's a self deletion thing.
Yeah.
Uh, what a heavy subject. And first off, I thought, wow, how brave and ballsy tackling a school shooting subject, and then to have the character like it's his kid that did the killing. Like, oh my God, that
Yeah.
is really extra heavy.
It was a gut punch.
And when his ex wife, first off, she comes up. And it's just this is an incredible scene. She
Yeah.
comes up with she's got a bucket and
Because
gloves
he
on.
he passed out on the headstone,
Right.
and she shows up. Yeah,
She
go ahead.
shows up and she's got cleaning supplies, and that made me tear up because it's like
Not her first time.
she's been out here. She even talks about like what type of cleaning supplies to use, what type of like bleach or whatever.
I wrote pause. As a parent, I was devastated. Like this devastated me. Like and it was Josh's birthday the day they were at that.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Jesus.
She says she had breakfast with one of the moms and
Oh
how
yeah.
she wanted to talk and to forgive Josh and that she didn't blame them, and like she says you should talk to him too, and like he just starts going off. He's screaming. He's like he doesn't want to dwell on it, and he sure as fuck doesn't need to ask forgiveness from anyone or meet any of the parents.
Yeah.
And
I really felt that when he said, "I don't. Would I need to meet him?" Like that was.
Emily looks at him in disgust almost, and after that, back on his boat, Sam's drinking heavily, listening to Josh's music.
As opposed to before when he was
Yeah,
just drinking a healthy amount. Now it's bad.
yeah. I guess. I guess I don't know why I wrote heavily.
Well, I mean, you're right though because he's drinking even more than
Yeah.
normal. Like this guy can put it away.
He starts writing lyrics down while humming. And the next day at work, he comes across the hammock in the
I
backyard,
love that
and
scene. Getting a bum nap in.
yeah, gets that nap in, and his boss wakes him up, and he tells him he's fired. And Sam's like, "Yeah, I don't know if you had figured it out already, but I quit about an hour
Yeah,
ago."
and then he drops a little bit of knowledge on him. He tells him, in many cultures, a nap is, that's a part of a healthy work day or whatever it was.
I agree,
He's
Sam.
right. You're working hard, and that it just looks really comfortable. So I don't blame him.
Next, we see the band's bringing girls onto the boat. It looks like they're throwing a little party. Sam goes below, and the band's all congregated. And Quentin tells him he's just gonna come right out with it, and he proceeds to babble on for like ever, and then eventually comes right out with it. And he tells them they've been asked to play the Buzz 104 block party. And they said this could be the start of something big, and they start rattling off names like Wilco, Death Cab for a Cutie, and like radio promos. And Sam's like, guys, it's complicated. He has to think about it. And the band's like, well, we feel like you kind of owe us this. And we cut to a Sam meeting with a woman, which we find out is Tina, and she's like trying to help Dell back out that RV
Yeah.
out of the alley, and Sam's making fun of. They're both making fun of his driving
He
abilities.
is stuck. It is
He
hilarious.
gets so mad, and like, yeah, I thought that was a really funny scene.
Yeah, I guess there is some pretty funny parts in this movie, but
Dale gets, he's just like pissed that his wife and Sam are just giving him so much crap about not being able to back up the RV.
I
Dell,
thought he was going to fight for a second when he got out.
Sam offers to back it out for him, and Dell says if he could do it without getting a scratch on it, he can have whatever Sam came there today for free.
Like I came for the register. I came for 10 of the top most expensive items. But he gets it out and he parks it like right in front of their thing or across the street. I forget.
Yeah, and then Sam notices a rudderless flyer hanging in the store, and Dell asks him why he hasn't or why he isn't playing the block party, and Sam gives excuses about being too old to play in a band. Then Sam meets up with the band, obviously running late, and says he wants to end the block party with Q's song. So he's agreed he'll play it.
Yeah.
And Quentin's like no, no. He's super hesitant, but eventually Sam's like, this is fine. This is the only way I'll play the gig is if we do this, and Quentin finally agrees,
Yeah.
and they all uh, end on smiles and rehearse,
Yeah,
and
and it
yeah,
looks like things are
everything's
really
good.
looking up for our team here.
Everything's back to being good on the upswing.
Yeah, no dark clouds in the sky.
Oh wait, actually, it says here next we have Sam. He's walking towards the stage of this block party with a smile on his face, which quickly shifts to worry.
Because we see Selena Gomez, and that's like
Yes,
she's like the fourth horseman of the apocalypse. It can never be something good if she's there.
and she's on stage, and you tell him what happened.
Yeah, we don't hear her conversation, but we can assume she tells him, "Yeah, my ex-boyfriend was this mass murderer at a school, and his crazy music is what you guys are singing.
Yeah,
So every time you sing, you're glorifying this killer, and you're bringing his ghost up." Like I don't know what she said, but some version of that, and they're pretty disgusted. Well, actually, two of them are kind of like, well, yeah, maybe we should just keep playing anyway, which I admired their spirit. They're like, well, maybe afterwards we'll write our own stuff, but let's just, tonight we got it.
that was very on brand for little indie bands too. I could confirm.
It's kind of like, well, yeah, our lyrics, they are written by Hitler and Joseph Goebbels, but man, people are really liking them. So, like, let's just not tell them and just keep playing another show. It's like, okay, well, we'll switch them out for the Charles Manson lyrics after that.
Anyway, we see Kate slash Anne. She walks off the stage after letting the band know,
Very
and
smug.
oh yeah, and she tells Sam, tonight everyone's gonna be cheering on those songs. How are you gonna feel about it? And she's like, you're living in a fantasy, and it's impressive. And he calls her Kate, and then she like corrects him again. It's Anne, and you know why? Do you know why I was like forced to change my name? They kept, she says they quote unquote
The media
kept
or whoever.
asking, yeah, they kept asking her questions like what was their sex like, and if they were in a cult, and like
Yeah.
how many were there. Which, man, that made me like kind of sympathize for her in
Yeah.
that situation, because like yeah, that's probably something that's happened to her numerous times.
Yeah, that sounds like some of those crazy InfoWars followers when they would like harass people, victims of the shootings and people that knew them and stuff.
Sam apologizes, and she's like, sorry. I should thank you, because I think I'm finally finished with you and your son.
Yeah, cold.
Sam walks up to his bandmates, and Quentin's like, is it true? And Sam's like, yeah.
He doesn't deny it. I like that. He's like, yeah. I mean, but he's like, but they are good. It is good stuff, basically. I mean,
Sam said, I should have told you guys. He's like, yeah, you think? And, like you said, the band were
they're like,
having that
well, maybe we
moment.
can just. It's not so bad, you
I
know.
did love how Q stood on business, and he was very adamant that it's wrong to play these songs.
Yeah,
Like he seemed to be the one that got it, and he yeah, I totally sided with him on that. Quentin gets his stuff and he leaves. Sam tells Q he was my son. And he was like, yeah, and you must have been a hell of a father. And Sam grabs him by the shoulder and spins him around, and like Q clocks him right in the eye.
I wrote down here. It's one of the. It's a really great movie punch because normally in a movie, the guy winds way up and he punches him and like the guy does a backflip or something. But this was just like wet meat, like a
Yeah.
real. And he you don't usually get knocked out from one punch. You just get like, oh,
Yeah, he
oh, that
sold
hurt.
it perfect. It
Yeah.
was it was good. It was a good punch.
And for the rest of the movie, he's got a black eye, and as it goes on, it starts to like fade. Like whoever did the makeup really kept up with their timeline on
Oh
that.
yeah, and they didn't like over embellish the black eye
No,
either,
because he
which I
just hit
thought
him
was cool.
once.
Yeah.
So.
Shout out to the makeup department on that one.
Yeah, and shout out to the sound department. I'd like to know who made that.
Oh yeah, the Foley for
Yeah, the Foley for that. It's just
that.
like they had some wet meat and they punched it with a wet hand. Just
Yeah, or a
yeah,
baseball bat. I don't
it was
know.
good.
Then we see Sam go to the nearest bar, obviously, for the double shot of whiskey. He tries to go back to his boat, and it's been fenced off, the whole area because it's getting ready for that, like, regatta or whatever the hell it is. And he tries to climb over the fence and ends up breaking the neck on his guitar, which, like, really devastates him.
I love the scene though because he doesn't realize, just like I as the viewer, I didn't realize that I forgot for a second. I was like, oh, well, he landed on his back, he landed on his backpack, and then you go, oh, wait, no, he's got a guitar in there, and then
Yeah.
about the same time I realized that he realized it and went, ah,
Yeah, same. We both, I had that same feeling, yeah. Then we see him waking up to the sound of a marching band playing. Everybody's fucking cheering.
yeah, especially after a night of really heavy drinking.
Yeah. And it's that's the regatta going by.
It's Captain Bowtie.
And the whole lake is filled with these sailboats. It's a festive atmosphere. And all of a sudden, you hear this guitar start playing. And it's Sam. He's driving his boat like directly in the path of the other boats. And he even bumped into one, like causing somebody to fall in the water.
Yeah, and he's playing the electric guitar with a big, huge amp, like tied on the front of the mast. Made me think of the Mariner in Waterworld, how he's like standing on the front of the mast. He wasn't playing guitar, but I mean, similar vibe.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I do not care if I hit these people. They better move.
He's probably still very hungover, if not drunk, from the night before.
I will say for sure, Dr. Manhattan should win an award for him playing a drunk. He plays a drunk so well, like a functional kind of cool drunk, for sure.
100%. He flips off that Algard guy as he's passing by. And then we see him next. He's just being picked up at a police station by Dell.
Right.
And he's like, I'm sorry, I just had no one else to call. And, like, in the car, he reveals to Dell who he is, or who his son is. But apparently, like, Dell knew he was from the first day they met. He recognized him. He said it took him like a second, but then he realized who it was. And he tells Dell all the songs that the band was playing were his son's. And Dell was like, well, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
And then he said he doesn't blame Quentin for how he reacted. Dell asked Sam what he was thinking, and Sam was like, he was my son. And that, man, it broke my heart when he said that again. And Dell says they were all somebody's sons and daughters. And Sam, says with tears in his eyes, but he was my son.
Yeah.
And fuck, that hurt. That hit me so hard. That was a sad scene. And then Dell says he doesn't know half of what he's been through, but Quentin deserves better. And so next we see Sam. He goes back to the campus where the shooting happened.
Oh, this was a rough scene too. I thought we were like over
Yeah.
making me tear up, but
Yeah.
no.
It just kept coming. He goes up to the plaque. We see the victims' names. I counted six
Yeah,
on
six
there.
people.
And he touched the plaque and he just keeps saying, my little boy, my boy, my boy. And then he has a full on breakdown.
Yeah, and people are looking at him and
Yeah,
stuff. And just,
the passersby are looking at him and he's just on the ground in tears. Even talking about it gets me emotional. But yeah, that scene almost took me out. I was like,
yeah.
holy shit, man. Like, this is hard.
Yeah, and then I guess he kind of figures, well, I should do right by this kid, who's been there, you know. I love what I love what he says in the next scene when he sees him. He's like, just you're too talented not to go do it, not to go play. Like, even if you're not in this band, even if you're not singing these songs, like I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. We see Sam show up to Emily's house after the campus incident, and he's got a box in his hand. She's surprised to see him. He says when Philip gets older, the little brother, he might want to know who his brother really was, and not just what he's going to read. And And when that happens, I think you should give him these. And he gives it to Emily and walks away. Emily says, wait. And he says, just listen. And, he walks away.
Yeah, and she does later. She's actually listening to him because it's like, well, maybe he was a monster, but this is really good. This is
Yeah.
really talented.
And it goes back to what we talk about in other episodes, layers.
Yeah,
People, like social media has kind of conditioned us all to believe that everything's perfect. Everything you see, it's a version. What you see on social media is just it's a homogenized version of what is real. We see Sam back at Dell's store. He went by just to, say thank you, and he notices that Quentin's guitars are there.
heartbreaking.
And
Because he's like just done. He's like been betrayed. He probably feels like.
yeah, I probably took him out, and Quentin probably looked up to Sam sort of in a fatherly figure sort of way because I don't see any father in Quentin's life. We saw
Yeah,
his mom. We
we
didn't
didn't
see.
even hear about a father.
Yeah,
So
so he after he notices the guitars, like he finds out from Dell that apparently he wants to sell them on consignment, and then we see Sam walk out with two guitar cases, and Dell says he got an offer from somebody to buy the store, and then it kind of like stops Sam in his tracks a little, and then Sam is like, a good offer?
yeah, kind of wondering like, is he gonna offer it? Is he
Yeah,
gonna
is
buy
like
it?
he gonna buy the music store? That's kind of like, yeah, that vibe I got from that. And then we see Sam. He goes to Quentin's work. He works at some sort of like a bakery type of shop or whatever. And
Right. What's the donuts that he brought earlier?
yeah, oh, okay, yeah. Then he says like, "Hey, I heard the donuts here are better than sex." And Quentin he replies, "Well, you're doing it wrong."
Yeah, which is a nice callback.
Oh, and then the old lady in the corner, she heard that too, and
Yeah,
she was just kind of like, she didn't have a repulsed look on her face. She kind of, I don't know, maybe got a kick out of it.
maybe she agreed with it. Yeah.
Sam asks Q if they could talk. He seems reluctant, but he does. Sam tells Quentin that the night they played together for the first time was like him getting to meet a Josh that he never knew, and every song he learned more and like it became intoxicating.
Yeah.
And but he says it wasn't Josh, it was Quentin. And
Yeah.
ooh,
It was really sweet. Yeah.
yeah. And he apologizes again to Quentin, thinking he fucked up his life, or he's like, I'm sorry that I fucked up your life.
Yeah.
And Quentin's like, well, I guess I'll let you off the hook. And I've been doing that, on my own for years. And Sam's like, then stop fucking up your life. You don't need those songs. You don't need me.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was great. Like, he's like the magic was in you the whole time. But actually, yeah. Like you're talented enough. You don't need any gimmicked killer songs. You don't need any
Some old
band.
guy.
Yeah, some old guy. You can do it by yourself, man.
And yeah, Sam was just so adamant. He didn't want Quentin to quit. He wants him to keep going for his dreams, not to quit. He says, "Quitters never win," and like that makes Quentin laugh. And he's like, "Really? Quitters never win." He smiles, but they got teary eyes, and he's like, "Yeah, that's the best you got," and he's like, "Yeah, that's the best I
So,
got,"
yeah, yeah.
and he walks out, and he leaves those two guitar cases behind. Q picks one of them up, and he notices something off about the weight,
Yeah.
and then so he pulls it up and he opens it up, and it reveals
The lime green.
the
Oh
'78
man.
Les Paul Gibson
Yeah.
Les Paul, his dream guitar.
The one that he really wanted. The one that he really wanted to pull off the wall and play Stairway on.
Yeah. And then back at the Trill, we see Sam takes the stage, and then he says on the microphone,
Yeah. This is rough.
"Yeah,
He lets him know right off the bat something he probably should have done to begin with.
yeah,
He's like, I'm this is my kid was this.
my son's name was Josh Manning. 2 years ago, he shot and killed 6 people. This was his song." And the entire room looks shocked.
Yeah, they all are like, what? So I imagine maybe he goes on to have a career kind of getting through his trauma by doing this. Maybe I don't know.
What I got out of it is, he is happy. Well, first of all, while he's singing this song, we get like little, scenes with Dell that bought Sam's boat, and his wife seems really happy about
Yeah,
that. And we also see Emily finally playing Josh's CDs and reading through that book.
yeah,
And then we also see flashes of people in the trill, like excuse me, being moved to tears because of, just the situation. And then we see Quentin and his other bandmates at the very end rehearsing in the garage with a new guy
yeah.
showing up to fill Sam's spot.
Yeah, I thought, well, hey, that guy looks different. Who's that?
And the lyrics that closed that song were, "I wish you were here to sing along, my son." And then Sam exits the stage and we fade to black. And I can now, like, not cry on the air.
It was a really heavy movie, like way heavier than I thought, especially
Man.
considering our last one was like a slasher movie.
And we were laughing and having a good time.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
to be fair, we laughed a little bit on this, but mostly just a lot of like awkward laughs and some tears. Because, man,
it was an uncomfortable watch, uncomfortable, like, subject matter. But you know what? I think that people need this sometimes. You need to be uncomfortable. You don't, like, we don't live in a comfortable world. We're not in a
yeah,
big bubble that we can be safe all the time. And, rather than living this, maybe you can just go watch it and relate to it on that level.
yeah. Yeah, I thought William H. Macy did a great job. I don't know what else he's directed, but I thought he did a great job with this.
Yeah, for a debut, I mean, he came out of the gate swinging.
Was this his debut,
Yeah,
really?
directorial debut.
Man, well, if you're listening, Mr. William H. Macy, you did a great job on this.
100%. And props to Billy Crudup. He was great. Loved him in Watchmen and loved him in this. And yes, he does kind of bear a slight resemblance to one Phil Brooks, CM Punk.
Yeah,
And we would be amiss if we did not say, just or give flowers and praise to the late great Anton Yelchin.
yeah, he was.
Just an amazing actor and gone too soon for sure.
Yeah, really, because I wonder if his passing didn't derail the Star Trek movies. Because I've heard rumors he was going to have a bigger part in the in the fourth one or whatever, but just wasn't in the stars for us. That's unfortunate. But we can rewatch the three that he was in, and we can rewatch Alpha Dog and this.
And relive his memories that way.
Yeah, he was great. He's a great actor. A lot of great actors in this. Yeah, Dr. Manhattan playing a drunk. I thought he was excellent. I'd love to know what kind of prep he did for that. If he like hung around some like functional, because you've been a drunk before. You've seen people that are functional alcoholics. The difference between somebody who just does it on the weekend and someone who does it all the time. Their body actually might need it. Like it's a whole thing, and he just played it. He played it great. I recommended this already to my mother. I already told her I'm going to get her a copy so she can watch it on her own because I feel like it's something she would enjoy. And yeah, I would recommend this. I would for sure.
100%. And ladies and gentlemen, we have an announcement. We will have a new co host to have some female representation on this show on our very next episode. And we
Yes.
will be revealing that sometime here in the very, very near future. So stay tuned to that online.
Yeah, I'm sorry that we had to break that news. You had to read the news because it means you're being replaced with a female, and it'll just be me and her from now on. But I mean that's okay though. I mean you can still. Why are there like three or four mic slots though? It's just gonna be me and the other lady. Are you also still gonna be here?
I I had planned on that.
I mean, it was your idea and your show and your equipment and your connections, but does that really mean that it's your show?
The
I'm
people's
Stan
show.
Leeing the
It's
show
it's
here
the
now,
people's
okay?
show. All right.
Glad that you guys listened. We highly recommend you guys see this. Right now, I believe, I'm not sure where it's at on streaming. Is it?
It was on Tubi. I did see old Tubi, old
Okay, Tubi
faithful,
for sure.
and just or go buy it or rent it.
Yeah, you
It's
could
out
probably
there.
rent it on maybe on YouTube or someplace like that. It's worth it for sure. I would say. Know what you're getting into though. It's a serious.
Heavy subject
Yeah,
matter.
it's heavy. Heavy's the word for this.
Thank you guys once again for listening to another edition of Oklahoma History and Film. And Cold Thorn, do you have any parting words for our listeners?
Just stay safe out there. Be safe. Keep watching the skies. That's a good one. I think that's someone else has that. Yeah, keep watching the skies.
And always vote